Hello out there. Good morning, good afternoon, and or good evening. My name is Emily Rambler. Joining me today is Philion, and today we have Game 3 of the quarterfinals, the last quarterfinals. We have Pete Train, we have Jet082. Two men enter, one man goes home, one man moves on to face Nin Man in the semifinals. Again, my co-com today, Philion. We finally have to do a Game 3, a deciding game.
Good evening. It's very, very cold here. I have cocoa, I have blankets, I have a hoodie. I am cozy. I'm going to watch some nerds play video games. It's going to be fun.
It is not as cold here in the wonderful New York.
Oh, is that why you're called Rambler? Ah!
It all makes sense now, right?
Yeah, I get it. So, what do we have for settings tonight?
So we have Assured Sword, and we have Map Compass Shuffle. The Assured Sword is what Pete Train chose after he lost Game 1. He won Game 2, and Jet082 has pressed the button to turn the Maps and Compass Shuffle on, which means it'll be kind of like Sanity, but then again, not exactly, because only the maps and compasses will be shuffled throughout the rest of the world.
Yeah, so what that means in practice is your dungeons have a couple more items than normally they would, and you don't know which ones are crystals and pendants right at the start. So your maps are going to tell you that, and dungeons a little bit more worthwhile to dive. But of course, that's all in theory, and it's all kind of at the whim of whatever randomizer throws at us tonight.
Yeah, and what we saw yesterday, I was watching a little bit of it. I think we saw some early fire rods that kind of baited Jet into doing Pendant Skull Woods when that was not the answer, and Pete Train avoided that, and that's the main reason why Pete Train was able to win yesterday's race.
Oh yeah, fire rod can easily bait you to that, especially if you've got a sword right from the start and the whole dungeon's just open. I'm a huge fan of Assured Sword. It kind of gives everyone an earlier playing field level. You can definitely go kill, say, the castle or Thieves' Town right at the start of the game. And kind of, also makes it less likely that we're going to end up with some silly Master Sword bosses at the end.
Yeah, both our runners had Butter Sword yesterday. That's one of the upsides of Assured Sword. It doesn't actually take a sword out of the pool, just bumps everything up a little bit. So once our runners get their file names in, and they'll be getting ready to start relatively soon.
On the right, Jet, with the Zero Suit Samba sprite. Surprising no one if you've seen Jet play before. That's kind of his signature sprite to go with.
Yeah, most runners generally try to stick with the same sprites just so they know to line up for certain tricks you might see them go on later in the game. You can judge them based on sprite position. Also, I do want to shout out our tracker for this race is Link Force 0.
Yeah, thanks to Link Force for clicking all those buttons that we're going to see popping up throughout the race, or all the items that we're going to see popping out throughout the race, so we can stay informed, especially as we find out very slowly which maps and compasses, or which crystals and pendants we have. We are off.
Double sank start for 20 rupees, and what Pete Train will do here, based on what we saw the first two races, he'll go this normal route that the both runners will do and most runners do when they start to sank, but then he'll nope out and go to the castle after doing the forest and put off Kakariko for a little bit.
Oh, interesting. That's a really neat play. It gives you kind of better odds of getting flute or getting a bottle before you get to the castle, as well as just almost guaranteeing that you're going to have bombs in hand.
Yeah, unless the enemy drops are rude to you. We see that the trees and the bush crabs are kind of being rude. The trees are only 1 rupee for a tier 1. Bush crabs are a single heart. Both our runners checking the lumberjack right away, and we see they are just bombs, so we will not need to come back here for that.
looks like Jet is still farming enemies, maybe hoping to check out that tier 2 or tier 3 tree pull. If you kill enough enemies in a row before you pull on the trees, you are going to get a random set of items dropped out. And Runner's probably hoping that they can get some bombs or big 20s from that.
Meanwhile, here in the mushroom spot, we find ourselves a first bottle filled with a fairy for convenience. Though it might be inconvenient if these runners want to death warp at any point. And we see an early lamp and drop down.
Oh, okay. I was hoping for dark rooms, but lamp is fire source. That's fun. That's good. That's good.
No dark rooms for you today, and just like predicted earlier, P-Train is going to go to Link's house and take it slightly unconventional, but maybe it's definitely a route that you would consider playing with the Surge Swords flag on, because you full cleared most of the castle here without any problems. And now that you have a lamp, Dark Cross is in logic right away.
Sure is, and I think, you know, if you assume that at some point during this race you were going to end up doing the castle, to an extent, you just want to get that done right at the start. If you think, you know, there's a way that you're going to make it through the game without checking the castle, which is totally possible, then you might want to be avoiding this.
Well, Jet does not find the bombs he was looking for in the well. P-Train does find the bombs in the Uncle escape chest after getting a piece of heart from Uncle himself. Jet's
really
gonna take those 50. Yeah, Jet's taking those 50 rupees. Gonna go buy some bombs.
Yeah, I like the way Jet's approached this. He checks the well because it's very quick to get in there, and you have 4 checks. But when he doesn't get bombs there, he just says, "Okay, I need to go buy the bombs. I don't want to be dipping all the way into Blind's Hut and back out, hoping I get bombs, because that's where your huge time loss is."
Yeah, you spend a lot more time Blind's Hut than you do in the well, especially when you're coming back to blow up the hole in the back. So we're going to see a slight divergence between our two runners. Jet getting our first map, it's the Tower of Hera map. D-Train getting a big 20 in the first chest in Hyrule Castle.
And Jet's going to need to come up with some more money here if he wants that bottle vendor. You know, he got 50 in the well, but that only gave him bomb money.
If he finds 2 big 20s here, he'll be fine for bottle vendor. Instead, we find maps eastern. So getting the light world maps out of the way. There's a Bombos medallion. Ooh, we find Thieves Town map on the right side, but more importantly, the hammer is in the escape.
That is really good for P-Train. You know, obviously Jet's going to have to come back here as well. Probably will end up doing that sooner rather than later. But the main thing that Hammer gives P-Train right now is he just has Tempered Sword damage. He can take out stronger enemies very quickly. We're going to see that right here.
Yeah, and for P-Train's sake, I hope he remembers to take the fairy out of the bottle. So we know what we're doing here.
Drop the fairy, drop the fairy.
Oh, wow. Flute. And he is dropping the fairy. So Flute and Zelda Cell, so 2 big items here in Escape. P-Train, remember to drop the fairy. We find the book is behind the bomb wall in the well. Interesting.
It's really good that Jet went back for that.
Required yet or not, but...
That's interesting. When I see book and lamp together, I get a little suspicious of what's going on in Desert Palace.
That is very true. We don't have boots yet, so it might be boots locked. And we don't have Power Glove yet, so we really can't kill Land on the point.
Yeah.
But we can go in there.
Yeah, this isn't go to Desert Palace immediately sign. This is like the puzzle pieces are starting to come together.
Small Key and Dark Cross, we can go all the way to the back, so we can find gloves back here, and they will be unlocked. Jet gonna finish off checking South Kakariko, check the library, check the race game, see if there's anything of importance over here. Library has just 10 arrows, so no one. race game will have a map, which Jet will say no thank you to. Meanwhile, the back of Escape, we have 10 arrows, 100 rupees, and a fire rod.
Well, okay, let's just put items in Escape today.
So
Just
I
put
think the
everything in
Escape play worked, and I think Jet is going to go do that now. So Jet's going to make up some, basically pull even with P-Train here. P-Train's going to go do the south route through Kakariko. So both our runners are going to be doing things the other runner has already done.
Yeah,
So just how cold is it there?
It's freezing. It's freezing. I don't like it. I'm not going to talk about that. I want to talk about the actual difference we are going to see between the runners here, because all they're doing is swapping the order they do these. But what happens as a result of that is P-Train's entering Kakariko with bombs. He's entering Kakariko with rupees, and he's entering Kakariko with the flute. Those are all things Jet didn't have.
Yeah, the flute is definitely.
Jet had the bottle. Which means he gets to activate flute on his first trip, saves himself a walk, saves himself the time to go buy bombs, saves himself a bit of running around backtracking for bottle vendor. All works out pretty nicely for him.
Yeah, P-Train definitely has the advantage from having all those items already and not having to do a little dance throughout Kakariko.
Okay, that took less time than I thought to explain the difference. So let me tell you how cold it was. My eyelashes had ice crystals on them when I walked in.
But the question is, were they Pyramid Fairy ice crystals? Don't humor me. That wasn't that funny.
I enjoyed it. It was good. It was good. Moving on. Back to normal things. So, at this point, you've got the flute, or you're about to have the flute. You do have the lamp, so you can do the old man. Do you prioritize that mountain check right now, or do you hold off on there, thinking, with hammer, with lamp, that kind of looks like Tower of Hera access. You might want to just go south first until you have access up to the top of the mountain.
I'm not a huge fan of going up there without when I have other things to do, especially if we find hookshot, say, in Mini Moldorm Cave. Then, I'm not going to be super happy with having a double dip Death Mountain like that. Well, P-Train did happen to run out of bombs. I don't remember if there was any bombs in Blind's hut. I don't think there were.
Yeah, his ideal scenario is that he doesn't have to buy them again on his way out, but if it comes down to that, he'll survive. He also has the option of buying them from, say, Lake Hylia, or just kind of YOLOing the dam and hoping he gets some there. I wouldn't actually YOLO the dam. That's a bad idea.
But P-Train is probably going to go down and buy some bombs before he goes back into Blind's hut, so he is doing a little bit of a dance here in CAC, but not as much as Jet was.
Yes, P-Train, we have the flute. We understand you're excited.
I mean, isn't he just dropping frames by constantly activating the duck over and over?
I'm sure that someone in chat could point out how many lag frames P-Train's just lost.
Yeah, please someone in chat tell us exactly how many frames P-Train is losing here. Also, I think we have all 3 maps for all 3 Light World dungeons at this point. I did not see what they were, though.
No, me neither. We can see Eastern is a crystal to start off with, which, whatever, that's fine. Eastern being that weird beast it is, where your only item locked behind the bow is Armos. Bow can still show up pretty much anywhere, so that's not great.
Alright, so both of our runners are now going to be converging here because they're both done doing what the other one's already done. P-Train is heading straight up the mountain to the old man first.
Now, didn't we both agree we wouldn't do this?
What?
go straight to the mountain.
I mean, P-Train's in the final 4. We both got knocked out like 5 rounds ago.
Exactly.
So
he knows what he's doing.
well, Jet is going to go activate that flute now, and we'll see where his route takes.
And again, there's still value in just doing the old man right here, because again, you're going to do the old man at some point in the race to get the spawn point, if for no other reason.
And the old man doing a little Valentine's Day gift, giving some love to P-Train, and fluting straight away, going right to the desert area. Scanning the ledge for a compass.
That's good.
And then immediately to the dam. Okay, that's pretty efficient routing for P-Train. Jet, however, going straight to 7.
Yeah, so after all that, look at this time difference between the runners. P-Train is an old man and a desert ledge check and a screen transition ahead.
Yeah.
Came up pretty even in the wash.
Yeah. At this point, P-Train is about 30 seconds ahead, just because he did Castle first and got lucky to find a flute. That's random.
Interestingly, Jet doing the detour for that piece of heart. I know a lot of runners at this point in the tournament would even say it's not worth the time to go pick that up. I'll have enough hearts forced on me just from opening chests during the course of the game. But you know, if Jet ends up down to 1 heart at any point, then that piece of heart could save his life. So worth.
P-Train having a little trouble here at the Mini Moldworms. Jet having a little easier time, so they're going to be entering Mini Moldworm Cave at the same time. We're going to see all 5 items here. We find ourselves our first shield, our first mail upgrade. We find a map to GT. We find a powder. We find bombs.
And a sink. Wait, no, that's just what they're doing.
Yeah, they are very... Cultures and Timberlake, because they're very in sync. I'll see myself out.
Alright, Jet doing that desert check as well, and it looks like he is headed into Desert Palace. This will be some useful information for him. He finds out if this thing is boots locked. Unfortunately, he can't beat the dungeon no matter what, unless he pulls gloves in here somehow.
Yeah, we can find some vanilla gloves in here. See the swamp map over in Ice Rod Cave. And we will find out now if desert is boots locked or not here. Survey says mirror.
Ooh.
So you were right. You had to go in the desert.
That opens up
Hera.
Super handy. That is really great.
Alright, see a pyramid fairy crystal up at Hera. I saw a pennant at crystal at East. Desert? I guess we don't have the map for it yet. Thought I saw desert map. Must have been desert conference I saw.
Yeah, we have seen that one.
Alright, so P-Train gonna take that powder, go right to Magic Bat. Jet going to Agina's cave.
Yeah, both runners kind of following a different breadcrumb that they've picked up here. Jet's has worked out so far. Just a piece of heart on P-Train's side, so he might be headed to desert soon. Not sure. Unless he does the eastern area, that's kind of what he's down to.
Let's see where P-Train goes to next. Looks like it's going to be the eastern area.
That's... I mean, there could still be something here, but that doesn't seem ideal right now. Jet's got that mirror. He's headed up the mountain. This feels like the right track to be on. You're going to take the mirror and beat Hera. You've got the fire source, so you know you can finish it. And then you can just take that hammer and do east at the mountain.
Now we get our green pennant information by talking to Sahashla here. And we see the green pennant is desert. Okay.
Oh.
There's all your Light World information. And early red mail, so maybe skipping that piece of heart is going to work out for Jet, because our runners are going to have red mail, and that's very, very strong. So both our runners heading up to Pendant Legends. The difference is that we know Jet can fully clear Tower of Hera at this point. T-Train can only clear Eastern if he finds the bow in here.
And that looked like a big 20 inspecting the rock. So nothing of importance there. Jet does have the opportunity for 50 rupees on top. And you know what? When he's in this area, he also gets to check the ether tablet.
Yeah, we're not going to pull what's in the ether tablet yet. You need Master Sword or more for that, but we can definitely read it, just like you would read a pedestal and get the information on what's on there.
And in some ways, just reading this is often a little better, because if it's not a progression item, if it's not something you actually want to get,
yeah, especially
like
when it's a
compass.
I think it's a map.
Yeah. With something like that, you don't want to sit through the whole ether tablet cutscene and wait for the item to drop. You just want to read that text and get out of there.
Yeah, I think Commissar would tell you, there is the bow in Tower of Hera. So Jet making the right moves here.
Yeah, everything's coming up Jet right now.
We'll see the basement cutscene chest, because we do not have the equipment needed to Herapod. Now, P-Train can still find another bow here. There are 2 bows out here.
That's true.
300 rupees is not a bow. Ooh, that's interesting. The mushroom in the Eastern Palace big chest.
Okay. That's that's a nice quick check, at least now that we have the flute available to us. It's the kind of thing I'm not too worried if it's progression, because Jet is likely to get it quite quickly after he finishes up on the mountain.
Yeah, especially when he has that bow, he can go right to Eastern. We're running out of spots. I think we're going to run into, say, a Master Sword or a cape soon.
Well, we've still got
Glove.
East Death Mountain, which is 8 whole items over there.
Yes.
So that seems pretty good.
Yeah, P-Train going right back to the mountain, but he's probably just going to use this to flute away here. Or he's going to go up the mountain.
No, P-Train. I know it sucks going to desert without gloves. I know it sucks. I don't like to do it either, but we got to do it today. Come on.
There's the power glove, so we now have Dark World access on Jet's side.
Yeah, just need that annoying moon pearl to, actually do anything there.
Yeah.
But, boy, if we get moon pearl right now, or in East Death Mountain, this will work out very well for Jet. He's going to be able to take that, go to the pod area, check all those chests, and then mirror into Eastern.
What would be actually worse for P-Train would be if Armos Knights has the Moon Pearl.
Yes, that would be very bad.
Jet with 3 quick hammer hits on Moldorm and quick kill. And gets another bottle, this time with red goo.
3 hits with the hammer. It's like the hammer does tempered sword damage.
Yeah. P-Train is now going over to the desert. So P-Train will get his mirror and will now be back on Jet's tail.
But... P-Train.
No, wait.
Okay,
that's
so
not
he's going to
desert.
do this. Then he's going to do Agina and then go ahead and do desert. Oh
I
god,
guess he,
this hurts.
oh, yeah.
I see what he's trying to do, right? He doesn't want to go into desert if he can't beat it, unless he's sure that's where he has to go. I see why he's putting it off. It just hurts a little to watch in this case.
Alright, so now P-Train, are you for sure this time? Are you confirmed? You're actually going to go to the desert?
If he's not going into desert with this,
Oh, there's
then
the
I
Moon
don't
Pearl.
know him at all.
So we find the Moon Pearl in Spiral Cave.
Okay.
So I know it's a little early, but I think we can safely say Jet has a little bit of a lead right now.
Yeah, I think that's safe to say here. When this all shakes out, Jet and P-Train are going to have covered similar stuff, with the exception that Jet's going to have an Armos kill on top of that, and that's really going to work out for him because it's, a couple minutes extra that P-Train has to run through a dungeon.
Well, actually, yeah, what's actually going to happen is Jet's going to be able to route in Pod and Eastern together. I mean, P-Train will too, but Jet is going to be able to only single the Eastern.
Yeah. And Eastern, especially without the boots, it's a lot of walking. It's just a lot of screens to go through.
So Paradox Cave had nothing much outside of the half magic, I believe. I don't think there was a map in there. Oh, there's also a shovel.
There was a shovel. But, maybe
Jet
check that, but no, Jet is determined. He says, I've got Eastern, I've got Pod, I've got all Dark World. Let me just go ahead and do this right here.
Alright, we saw a quick Dark World map check on P-Train's side. We saw Red Pendant over at Swamp, and we saw Crystal at Thieves Town.
So, Jet's over in the Pod Eastern area, and that's great. It's going to work out well for him. What do you think is making him go here instead of Skull and Thieves? Because, there's no guarantee Pod is a Crystal, and we can also full clear both Skull and Thieves right now.
Yeah, I think just the fact that, you can knock out 2 dungeons at once. Eastern is a Crystal. Pod has, in MC Shuffle, 8 items, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, maybe 7? Something like that.
7.
So there's a lot of items over here regardless. And if it is a Crystal, that's dungeon you need to kill anyway.
Yeah, and I think, that 7 items really is going to count for a lot. The odds of having something good behind those 7 items, especially, when the game has kind of thrown you this bow early that locks so much of Pod, it does kind of put up this big flashing sign saying, check out the eastern part of the world. Also, at this point, we know it's probably a crystal. The other thing Jet gets out of doing this is he kind of gets to hedge his gameplay a little bit. The runners can't see what each other are doing. They don't know where their opponents have gone. But Jet's probably feeling pretty good about the route he's taken so far. Right? All the progressions just kind of dropped into his lap. And by going to Eastern Palace, what he's doing is he's setting up a scenario where even if P-Train went to Eastern first, which turns out he did, Jet's going to get that progression shortly after P-Train does. So Jet's not going to be missing out on anything by going this way.
So let's see what Jet finds here in Palace of Darkness. We are in the boat lock side. We find ourselves a small key. And in this chest, another small key.
I am shocked. Shocked to see small keys in pod.
Happens to be 6 of them in chests. He trained with the 3 shots with the hammer onto Moldorm. Down goes Moldorm. Hello, first crystal for P-Train.
That was
As
a
Jet
very clean
found, Jet found a heart container in the developing key chest, and then a small key in the drop down. We're now going to the back of pod.
Yeah, with 4 small keys already, Jet knows there are 2 more smalls to find.
And a hook shot,
But
apparently.
that's less interesting than that hook shot.
Yeah,
That hook shot's interesting.
hook shot's very interesting.
Well, does it give us anything now?
Swamp.
We don't even have flippers.
Oh, we do have a sword up on floating island there.
Yeah, that's you know, a nice spot to know where it is for later, and maybe grab it if you're heading into GT on only Master Sword. But right now, it's kind of taunting just to see it sitting there where you can't do anything with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot we don't have the flippers yet. Also, I don't know if these runners are really jumping up and down about wanting to do Pendant Swamp Palace.
Yeah, I know I wouldn't be. You know, we're looking at one of those seeds here where, you know, technically flippers might be required to beat the game, but we might just kind of hit go mode, not have the flippers, and say, all right, we're fake flipper into ice.
Yeah.
We don't need that to win.
One more item left for Jet here in House of Darkness, and happens to be on the ball.
Yeah, one interesting aspect of MC Shuffle is that because the bosses won't normally have maps and compasses, your bosses for dungeons are generally going to have an item on them. Now, it might not be a good item, might not be progression, but there is that extra bonus to always beating the dungeon, even if it's a pendant just for that other item you'll get. Now, of course, this is probably going to be a crystal too, which is the real reason to beat the dungeon.
You always see a little bit of route divergence here on P-Train's part. He's going to go check the Hype Cave first.
Oh, interesting.
You can easily route this in with Pod. You can also talk to the bomb shop and see what the other Pure Fairy Crystal is. Alright, let's see what we have here in Hype Cave. We start with some bombs. Couple heart pieces, a few heart pieces, yeah. We gotta rename this cave, man.
It's Hype Cave. You can get hype for how boring it is.
Valentine's Day.
Wow, that was
lots
a
of
bad-
hearts.
Yeah, there we go. Valentine's Day.
Alright, Hera and T-Rock open up the Pyramid Fairy Crystals. Because everyone loves not having the ice draw when someone rocks the crystal, right?
Yep. Alright, P-Train looks like he's headed east. Jet doing the Helmasaur fight, just getting in there with the hammer. 17 hits to get off the mask. And and 4 hits with the Tempered Sword into the jewel.
Well, not Tempered Sword, but the hammer does Tempered Sword damage, so 4 hits with the hammer.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Thank you for filling in.
Yeah.
Blanks.
Otherwise, it would be 8 spins with the sword, which is probably what I would do because I suck with the hammer. Just 20 rupees on a hell of a sword. But we do get a crystal.
Jet having about 10 hearts there, 9 specifically, plus the red mail means he can just kind of tank all that damage, not worry about getting hit, and get right in there close with the hammer. The other way to do it is face up, hold your sword out, extend the hammer hitbox, and try and hit with the weirdness that the facing up hammer is. But, you know, with the red mail, it's faster to just tank that.
Well, Jet now going to knock Eastern out. We already know that there is, I believe, not much here in Eastern, unless there's something on Armos Knights.
Yeah, and then P-Train's going to follow behind, clear out pod, get that hook shot, and not much else. And then have to do this dungeon all over. So at this point, it does seem like P-Train's routing, where he puts off Desert as long as he could, is starting to hurt him, as we've seen both runners pretty much full clear in the light world, and P-Train just having to retrace his steps a little more. He's coming out behind on this exchange.
Yeah, because we know once this is done, P-Train is going to come back into Eastern to kill the Armos Knights. That's all he has to do now. Chat saying Pyramid Fairy was almost always dead. Well, in Game 2, Pyramid Fairy had our Go Mode Bamos. So you never know, guys. You never know. Even with Turtle Rock blocking it.
P-Train, you don't have a small key, P-Train. No, P-Train.
Oh, boy. Yeah, he has the Warlock sign. Yeah, he's going to realize it real quick, be like, yeah. Hey, now it's smoky. Because he got 2 more ones, that's the Warlock side.
So, this will be mentally a bit of a critical thing for P-Train. I know at least that when I play and I do something like that, I feel not great about myself. And what P-Train is going to have to do here is just go, hey, you know what? I've made that mistake so many times. I'm not going to let that get to me. I'm just going to keep playing. Shrug that kind of thing off. And I think it's the kind of thing you get better at the more you play this randomizer, and once you've made every mistake, they just don't hurt so much. And the only way to make those mistakes is by playing the game a ton. So I'm not too worried about him. I think he can pull through this.
Yeah, his mental state's usually pretty spot on. He'll probably just run down and grab it real quick now. I mean, it's only a heart container. So. Well, Jet's going to show us the one thing we don't know about Eastern, which is what item is on the Armos Knights. Just want to make sure you grab some arrows before walking up here.
Alright, folks, you've all seen this fight before. You know how it goes. 3 hits per Armos. You can kill them all before the last one turns red. You don't have to double hit it. Unfortunately, Jet just missed that. Had to sink a few extra arrows, but still got the fight over pretty quickly.
Yep, so that's crystal number 3 for Jet. 3 crystals at 35 minutes. Usually I have 0 crystals at this point.
You might want to try leaving Link's house, but
We're gonna go turn this mushroom in. Which we already know is just 20 rupees. So if Jet does happen to just retrace what P-Train's already done, we could sync up again, but I think Jet's still going to be pretty far ahead because of not having to double dip these crowds.
I think the only thing P-Train's got the advantage on, check-wise, is Hype Cave and Pyramid, which had nothing, unfortunately, for P-Train.
Yeah, and Jet is I don't know if he's gonna check the pedestal or not, but definitely gonna go to Skull Woods and or Thieves Town here. No pedestals to check yet.
Yeah, there's a whole lot you can do together here. You can do your Skull Woods, your Thieves Town, your Graveyard Ledge if you really want it, though it's out of the way. And probably not the way Jet wants to go, because you got 3 items in the village, Magic Bat, if you're in the area and want to do it, and then South Dark World leading all the way to Hype Cave.
Yeah, so Jet has a lot of stuff to knock out here.
So what are we hoping to get for progression at this point?
Titan Smiths would probably be the best thing for us.
Yeah, that would give us Dark Death Mountain, which is kind of nice. We'd learn what we need to get into Turtle Rock. And it would also give us Misery Mire access.
Yes. We still need some iron, we still need Ice Rod, we still technically need flippers, maybe. And maybe some medallions. And we'd also need boots. Oh no, maybe not, because that's also pendant.
Well, that's
right. 2 dependents so far.
That's right, that mirror in Desert was not boots locked, so it's possible, though unfortunate, that we might have one of those really late boots suits.
So Peach can take on Helmasaur now, using the hammer. Jet can be dropping into Mako fight. It'll be interesting to see what strategies he uses here, because we're still right now on this Fighter Sword. So we'll see either spins, hammer, or Fire Rod be used.
Looks like we're going for the Fire Rod shots, which are 8 hits for the win, and they are as good as a Fighter Sword spin.
Or a Master Sword slash, which is, I think, how the vanilla game wanted to beat this with both Master Sword and the Fire Rod. Keeps on slashing, it's going to take a total of 16 slashes here. But, gets it done. Mothula is down. And drops a big key.
Well, that'll be
and the last pendant.
Ooh, that's less nice. That's
yeah, that's just mean. Well, now we know where everything is.
Yeah, good news, we know our crystals. Bad news, that's a long walk just to get a pendant.
Now, one thing we can do is see if that pendant was actually good for us, because we can just mirror and check the pedestal right now.
We could. This is a tricky call to make.
Silver arrows.
Silvers are great. So on the one hand, you could mirror, you could check pedestal, find out if you need it. And Jet's going to do that. On the other hand, you know, it's a little weird to do this check when you don't even have flippers, and so it's kind of murky if you'll ever have the ability to do ped.
But it's Quake.
Well,
that just got interesting.
Do we? What? Do we?
Oh.
Yeah. Huh. But
get your.
Okay. All right. All right.
That's a big old maybe right there.
All right. Now I really want the mitts.
Yeah,
Just to find out if we need that quick.
Yeah, 100%. Get the mitts and then go immediately to Meyer and or Turtle Rock. That will dictate how the rest of this race goes. That would definitely make them maybe. Well, they can't even go back to the. So we definitely need boots now. If like, oh, so many things that could happen now.
Well, there's
the boots. Never mind.
That at least takes that worry out of.
Play. Yeah, literally. Now we don't have to worry about desert anymore. We can now complete desert.
I'm impressed with how you did that. How you just summoned the boots.
I mean, it's a talent of mine. I just wish it worked.
Let me try this. I mean, we still don't know where we're gonna find the item for Turtle Rock, the ice rod. What?
Well then.
I didn't ever dream that could possibly work.
So, gonna now check out the rest of this North Dark World area, see if anything the capes need for anything. No. So, we're gonna go check out Graveyard Ledge and the King's Tomb and maybe Bonk Rocks.
Yeah, this all works really well. You just take these boots, you check everything in a row. Graveyard Ledge doesn't suck to get to anymore because you've got the boots, so you can bonk the rocks.
Yeah. Was that shovel required? Let's find out. No.
So P-Train's route is a little awkward here. He's going South Dark World again, which means he's dipping into the Dark World just to do Stumpy 45 dig game. If he gets his mitts here, it'll work out great. He can go straight to the village.
I swear, if mitts showed up there, I would have really yelled at you.
Yeah, I know. I was hoping, but we can't have everything.
Burner though.
So, like, if he can stumble on his mitts here, that's really good. If not, he's gonna have to loop around from the top again, which isn't the best setup to be in.
Plus, one thing we're probably going to see on Patriot's side is going to be a little unfortunate. We're going to see Thieves Town boots when we know where the boots are.
Yeah, well, I was going to say Thieves Town sucks bootless, but every dungeon sucks bootless.
The entire game sucks bootless. Let's be real.
Alright, only $20 at dig game.
We're going to see both of ours in the Village of Outcast area around the same time here. Train obviously going Jet going a lot faster with those boots. And P-Train, I guess realizing that's faster than the flute.
Yeah, it is going to be slightly faster to just flute straight to the statue and then go around. Again, kind of like the desert play, I can see why P-Train didn't want to do this walk. This bootsless walk to the hammer entrance to the Dark World portal is slow. It takes a long time to get through here.
Yeah.
I see why he's trying to avoid it.
It'll be interesting to see where he goes after getting to the Dark World here. Will he go up to Skullwoods, or will he go down to Thieves Town? It will be Thieves Town.
Oh, that's too bad. He's going to end up doing, as we said, Thieves Town bootless here. Compared to Jet's boots, Thieves Town, that's really going to set him behind.
And there are the flippers in Thieves Town. So we can now complete all of our pendant dungeons.
I don't like this.
We can complete all our pendant dungeons.
It's just an awkward decision setup of like, do I go into a swamp hoping I get the mitts? If I get the mitts, do I keep going for that Quake medallion or do I bail out? It's a hard decision, and it kind of forces you into making a call that you can't feel good about until you see the outcome of.
You know what? P-Train just got the map for Skullwoods and now sees that it is a pendant. So that might keep him out of there a little longer.
Yeah, which, could be fine, except for those boots. If it keeps him off of Mothula, but he still does the front chests, that could work out in his favor. Meanwhile, Jet is just blazing his way through Thieves Town. One of the things that you kind of don't notice in Assured Sword mode until it comes up is that once you get those boots, because you will always dash straight through almost every enemy, it kind of doesn't matter that you're only on Fighter Sword. You have a sword, and that's enough to keep moving safely.
Alright, so there will be an item in the big chest here. You can find a small key in its vanilla location. And the big chest has vanilla mitts. No, it has a sword upgrade. I tried. I tried to summon it again, but...
You know what? We had it happen once. We're not going to recreate it.
Yeah.
We gotta just move on. The sword is nice. We do know where one more is, and that's on the floating island.
As our runners do give a little bit of a high five, and we're in the same room. And Jet's gonna go bring the maiden into the final room. Blind drops a pun, and Jet kills him for it.
Fairly quick fight from Jet, getting Blind right on that border of light, which is right where you want him to be if you're going quickly. So good work on that front. Unfortunately, no real item drop from Blind, just that crystal.
Once again, for those of you just joining us, this is Game 3 between these two in the quarterfinals. The winner of this race faces Ninban in the semifinals. The other side of the bracket is Doomtap versus Actiboker.
Gosh, that is a matchup.
Yes.
Whew.
Jet will get that Skullwoods map that P-Train just got beforehand. And now Jet is going to basically do what P-Train did not too long ago here.
Yeah, one nice thing about this, he can, if he wants, go straight into Swamp Palace. And from Jet's side of things, by the time he gets down to Swamp Palace, he's kind of cleared everything he can without mitts. So at that point, you look at Swamp Palace and you go, okay, my mitts are probably in there. This is worth doing.
Plus, he has the information of Quake being on a pedestal. Even if Quake's not required, you probably still want to finish Swamp just to get that peace of mind out of the way.
Yeah, plus MC Shuffle Swamp, you're looking at 8 items total. left side swamp is always going to have something for you. Again, maybe not something good, but you're less worried about having your map and compass, or yeah, one map or compass there and one isolated item. So it looks like a pretty good play for Jet.
Very nice kill by P-Train onto blind, getting those 10 arrows. And Jet is going to forego the, oh, can't do this with shame all the time. Yeah, I caught myself beforehand.
Yeah, you need the mitts to go save the smith.
Jet is going to go back to get that map up? Yeah.
Yeah, I think he might be missing that,
Maybe the desert and stuff? No, he's
information. Oh, he hasn't been to the, bomb guy, so he doesn't actually know where his red crystals are.
That's right. P-Train, with those flippers, going to do all the flipper checks right away. So again, putting off Skull Woods for now.
Okay. Green rupee on the island.
We have the money to go to Zora, so we can just do all of this in one shot. The difference is now we're isolating catfish.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. If you don't have the boots, you really, really don't want to make that walk all the way to catfish. If this is something important for P-Train like mitts, this could really give him a boost if Jet ends up doing a swamp dive. Otherwise, this could just be another extra spot P-Train ends up checking that sets him further behind in this run.
Yes, P-Train's say we hope that we find like timesmiths over here. Actually, I think you'd prefer to find like Samari over here, actually. But the downside with that is that if he goes on Turtle Rock before going into Skull Woods and misses out on Ice Rod, that would be bad. Well, Jet is going to make the swamp play here, which is what we kind of figured. Pretty convenient if he didn't have the money for it. 300 rupees on Zora's Ledge. However, he does have the money for it. Let's see what the Zora scam is this time around. 3 bombs.
Ooh, that is unfortunate for P-Train.
Well, first item in Swamp Palace, 300 rupees for Jet. Again, with MC Shuffle on, there are 8 items in Swamp, and it looks like that's where P-Train's going now as well.
Yeah, this, this is just another one of those things where sometimes you don't want to, I get the argument for not keeping Skull, and I can see why you'd avoid it, but not having the boots from there means everything P-Train tries to do is going to be slower compared to Jet, which is not the position he can afford to be in when he was, second one out of the light world. Just kind of a bit behind on the logic chain there. Jet's just kind of ahead on all fronts and is going to keep gaining time just by virtue of having boots.
Almost tablet not paying off for P-Train here, again, just 20 rupees. Second chest in Swamp Palace for Jet, the Titan's Mitts. Which is what we kind of figured.
Yeah, and that's a huge linchpin of this seed, because now we've got Ice Palace completely open to us, Misery Mire mostly open to us, Dark Death Mountain, with the exception of Turtle Rock, and just because we need the cane for that. But at this point, we are looking at potentially just the cane for go mode. And if it turns out we need Quake, well, we know where that is. That's on pad.
Yeah, worst case scenario is if we find Ether, actually. Well, for Jet. P-Train, worst case, would be Quake.
Yeah, P-Train not having checked pad doesn't have that knowledge that that's where the item is.
Of course, we know that Jet has, P-Train has to go into Skull regardless because the Ice Rod's in there, and we need that to be Turtle Rock, which is a crystal. Right. So, Pendant Skull Woods definitely will have a required item, and it might have more than... Someone's asked what the odds are for Quake being on there. I guess it's what, like 4 out of 9 at this point? 2 out of 9?
I don't know. I've got a soapbox next to me. I'm gonna get on. It is worth saying that the odds aren't just kind of the straight intuitive math that you'd think of.
That's true.
Because the item or the game has given you those items earlier on, it does make it slightly more likely that they are going to be what you require, because there is that chance that the item, the medallion you don't need, is locked in GT. You'll never even come across it in the course of the game. So it's slightly higher than that, and I don't know enough math to get into it deeper than that.
It's 50-50. It's either it is or it isn't.
We can also take that approach. I'm a fan of that approach. To know.
Yeah, that's better math. But yeah, if we don't need Ether at all, and Ether is sitting in Ganon's Tower, then, you know.
Oh,
P-Train almost. He almost did that. He almost mirrored out.
You could see that pause and that wheel turning in his head as he went, do I want to stick around here? Is it worth it to stick?
Well, he's going to probably see a left side swamp, which I think is going to work out because there was nothing over there.
Jet finds the big key in the waterfall room, which means he is going to have to dip back into the dungeon if he wants that big chest.
Yeah.
Now, best case scenario, he kills Argus here, gets the red cane, and never has to come back for that chest. More likely, I think we'll see him do that again. It's actually quite quick to get back to that chest once all the water has been drained.
Yeah, also P-Train went behind. Yeah, P-Train went up to the waterfall chest first, then he came back down into these checks, and he's probably going to climb the stairs to go check the big chest. So P-Train's going to knock that off right. This play is telling me that P-Train is probably going to gamble skipping us that swamp at this point. He knows he's behind.
Oh, we get stuck in that stairway.
Yeah, I still don't know how to fix that.
I think you have to bonk against the bottom wall of the room and then move left and right when you're in the stairway before you try to just walk south.
Just 300 rupees. And P-Train is leaving Swamp Palace. He knows it's a pendant.
Yep.
That is going back in. So he's going to get his 300 rupees out of the big chest.
If you're going to leave, that is the point to leave. You've done the big chest. It is quite a ways to wait until you get to another chest. So you just bail and hope that you never have to be back here.
Trying to go into the mine area, so we will now get our first possible try to see if this is in fact a pedestal seed. And the survey says it's Bombos from Meyer.
Okay.
So we have that. Jet's gonna go to the mountain, so we're gonna get the other check right away as well.
I'd like to thank these runners for, even though they didn't coordinate it, showing us this information as quickly as possible.
Yes, agreed.
The two of them. It just takes a lot of this tension out of my shoulders. Okay, looks like P-Train's gonna bail on the Mire dip. Not having the red cane, I can see why he wants to, potentially get the God Mire and not have to full clear this dungeon.
And get that rocked. Super Money Cave just having some money for us for Jet's side. P-Train's not going to be too far behind Jet here. Alright, moment of truth number 2 on Jet's side. It's Vamos.
Oh, okay.
So this is not a pedestal seed.
So that's very good for P-Train being able
Yes.
to get into dungeons. Oh, hey, look, Temperate Sword and Hookshot Cave. I guess we're not going out the back of Hookshot Cave.
I don't think we need that fourth sword anymore. So now the question becomes, where is that King of Samaria?
Yeah.
Now we know for sure that is all we need for go mode. At least on Jet's side. P-Train still needs to get the Ice Rod.
I saw a couple people mention this in chat, and it's worth pointing out. Ether would have been very good for P-Train, Ether being required, because it kind of opens up the possibility he has to search, or that Jet would have to search for another item. As it is, if P-Train finds the red cane anywhere, he could get baited into doing all Turtle Rock. And we still know he needs to get back to Skull Woods. Partly because the boots are there and that makes you go fast, but guaranteed for that Ice Rod.
Yeah. Good news for P-Train is that they're both in the front of Skullwoods, so you don't have to go into the back. But the back does have silvers, which I think P-Train's going to end up missing out on, almost regardless.
Oh, right, silvers were there. Skull Woods had everything today.
Yes!
Castle also had everything. Everywhere had everything.
I mean, yeah, if only we knew where the items were every time. P-Train's now going to have his big sigh relief. Although, he has 2 pendants, so maybe he was hoping it was Quake at this point, because then he could just do Desert and immediately go get Quake. P-Train's going to make the Ice Palace play, which, honestly, this is a play that I think he could make to help catch up a little bit. Although, Jet might not be too far behind, because I think Jet's going to be able to do Ice before doing, say, Mire.
Looks like Jet's headed back in. We might get that Mire check after all.
Or you might just get the last item out of the desert.
Oh yeah, this is desert play. Because this is MC Shuffle. It's not the last item. It's going to be the last 3 items.
Last 3 items, that's right. Also, Mire has 4 items instead of 2 in MC Shuffle.
And not only is it 3 items, it's also your green pendant, which is a 4th if you want to head over to Sazrilla.
Yep.
Well, I didn't see what happened, but P-Train's having some trouble in the Stalfos room. Gets it on the 2nd cycle.
Yeah.
But one of those guys got away from him.
Well, Jet did find big key on the right side. Gonna open up the big chest, and we'll see if he makes a play into Lambolas here. And no, he's... yes. Wait, maybe. Yes, he's making a play for Lambolas.
I'm gonna say yes at this point. This is, oh, this is just such an awkward spot for B-Train. You know, if Jet... This is alternatively a great spot for Jet. If Jet gets the cane here, then Jet's in go mode. If P-Train gets the cane here, then P-Train ends up doing dungeons that aren't Skullwoods. And Jet presumably ends up getting the cane sooner rather than later.
Yeah. And almost got the one cycle on Landmo. Just a piece of heart on Landmo. Gets the green pendant, which he can turn into Sahashala. Maybe Sahasha's holding on to that red cane for us. I don't know how good Jet feels that they're now having all three pendants and knowing that the pedestal is no longer required. And so we'll turn that green pendant now.
Yeah, that's a little rough in some ways. You had to dip every pendant dungeon for something.
That is true.
You're right, you didn't have to beat any of the pendant bosses. So it is a bit of a feels bad to have done all those bosses and not get anything for it.
This is a map for a pendant dungeon. Okay, it wasn't, but still.
Yeah, at that point, or at this point in the race, you know that map isn't going to even help you.
And yeah, Jet's going to go right into Ice Palace, which was pretty much the best play to make here. It's plays you in full clear. You don't want to do Meyer without Samaria per se.
No, P-Train has picked up the bug net down in the basement, which is great for swag and not great unless you need safeties to beat the game. So, not great for these runners.
Yeah, these runners definitely will have any safeties here with 14 hard red mail. I haven't kept track of the items here. I don't know if a small key's gonna be on Argus or not, Colstay or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll see.
Only one key left, but I don't know how P-Train spent his keys in here.
Alright, 8 ice or fire rod shots on the ice shell. P-Train goes for the spin and tries to corner Cold Stare. Some of the puffs get out, but having half magic is great. You get those extra fire rod shots left over to chase down those puffs. 10 arrows and a 5th crystal for beating this dungeon.
Yep, and the last two crystals are both blocked by the Cane of Samaria, which is the one item we do not know where it can be that we need to beat to see. The question is, will P-Train go to Meyer, or will he go to overall checks or Skullwoods? Hopefully, for our sake and for his sake, to get a good race, it's Skullwood.
You know, I can see a play where you do Skullwoods and you try to train that in with kind of your North Dark World overworld checks, and maybe your Smith sequence. I can see how that could work out for P-Train. That's definitely not what we're seeing here, though. This is a Meyer play.
This is Meyer, yeah. Yeah, if Meyer has the cane, this is one place that maybe Jet would put off. Like, maybe Jet would do overworld spots before Meyer when he just needs cane for go mode.
Potentially, yeah. Meyer's just so tricky to know about, or to make a call on at this point in the race. Because it could be, oh great, you have to full clear it for the big key. Or it could be you're getting a God Meyer big key in your first two chests. You go straight to the boss, but you might also not be in go mode, so you have to clear the rest of the dungeon. It's a bit scary to be caught in that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, knowing how P-Train plays, if he finds the cane in Meyer, he'll go to Turtle Rock before going to Skullwood.
I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a runner in this tournament who wouldn't do Turtle Rock under those circumstances. It is the thing to do. And turns out we do have that God Meyer. Bridge chest holding the big key.
Yep. And the spike chest has a small key. There it is. It's in Meyer.
So I like this from P-Train. He gets that item. He's just going straight for the boss.
Yeah. I think he's figuring at this point that Ice Shot's going to be in Turtle Rock. But that's what he's hoping, because he knows he's behind still.
Yeah,
because of the early desert mistake.
Yeah, I think he can look at that and kind of fairly easily feel like he's behind. It's interesting, because of the way he did Swamp Palace, he's actually not as far behind as he was before. He does have that crystal advantage. Jet only picking up his 5th crystal now, and P-Train's very nearly at 6.
Yeah. The question for Jet is that will he go to Meyer right away, or will he do overworld checks?
Yeah, if Jet does the overworld checks, then we have a race on our hands, as it's a question of kind of who narrows it down first. If Jet does Meyer, this is Jet's race.
Yeah. Jet's gonna do the easy flipper checks, which he hasn't done yet, so it won't take too long to get this all knocked out.
Yeah. Hobo's a ways to swim to, but the absolute best time you're going to have getting to it is right after Ice Palace. So this is a good time to route this in. And, you know, Zora's kind of always the same length of time, but there's, I think, some value mentally to classifying everything together, and so Jet might do that here.
And P-Train with the 0 cycle on Vidi.
No lightnings, 8 arrows, nice work.
Alright, P-Train. I know you usually like going to Turtle Rock. If you want to see a good race here, go to Skullwoods first.
I can't imagine he goes to Skullwoods. It would be the galaxy brainiest of galaxy brain plays to make that dip when you've consciously put off Skullwoods earlier.
getting hookshot out, which means probably, yeah, he's going right to Turtle Rock. And we know there's going to be nothing in here that's going to help him at all.
Yeah, best case for P-Train is it ends up that the big key in Turtle Rock is in the lava chest, and its vanilla location. The reason that's a good thing for him is it means both runners are basically full clearing Turtle Rock. With an early big key, Jet will have the chance to potentially skip the lava chest and the big chest, which is, 30 seconds or so that he gets to save over his opponent.
Alright, so Jet is not going to do...
Oh.
He's an overroll text first, so... Alright, hold all tickets, folks.
Oh.
I mean, Jet's still ahead even if he knocks all this out, because P-Train's going to be double dipping Turtle Rock here.
Yeah, but, Jet still has to actually beat Meyer, which is only kind of at half God Meyer.
Well, he has to do the compass chest before doing, say, the arena chest. Then it'd be a Godmire. Right? Like, P-Train Godmired it without full clearing it. And you know that P-Train will do Skull before he does stuff like back in the swamp, back in the mire.
Yeah, there's no question on that. I think P-Train's made the calculation for both Skull and Swamp and Mire. I'm leaving things behind. If my ice rod's there, whoops.
There's Ether. Up there's the big key in the first chest. Jet is going to do a little trick that we've learned recently in this tournament, which is you leave the purple chest after you pick it up, and then you mirror right next to the thief in the desert. And if you talk to him while you're on the same frame as if you have the iframes, then it counts as having a purple.
This can't be faster than just mirroring and fluting to 7, can it?
If you want to run on Bombo's tablet, which I don't think he's checked yet.
Yeah. Yeah, with Bombos it makes sense. Skipping Hammer Pigs was a little weird.
I thought maybe he did those already, but I'm not sure. So probably not, so I have no idea.
But yes, dashing to the purple chest guy is a good play when you still have this Bombos tablet.
Yeah, P-Train checked us a while ago when he first came into the air for Swamp. Alright, Flute is out. Are we going to Mire? No. Is he going to do Catfish?
Pyramid Catfish, it looks like.
I don't know what's left, so...
Pyramid and Catfish, I think.
Yeah. That's unless that's Swamp Chat. Jet's already full cleared that. Jet's full cleared every dungeon he's been to.
Yeah, that's right. This
is definitely
a statement like that. Oh, go ahead.
I think this is definitely a good way to show the old school runner in Jet versus the new school runner in P-Train. Jet will never do never consider the vanilla dungeon for an item. P-Train will gamble certain items for to try to make up some time. So both strategies coming into play for both the older runner in Jet and the newer runner in P-Train.
Yeah, I was also going to say this really shows off the difference that boots can make. Both these runners very good execution-wise in this game. But when we say that Jet has full cleared every single dungeon he's touched, and P-Train's been bailing out of them correctly. So, by the way, But when Jet full clears all those dungeons and still has more dungeons completed, a lot of that comes down to having those boots and just doing everything faster.
Alright, this is now going to be the Meyer play for Jet. Ice Rod Cave? He hasn't been here yet? Is this where the swamp map was?
I think so.
So I remember P-Train had it. Jet did not. And there's a desert map. We finally found that it was in my Mimic Cave. And now Jet is going to go to Meyer. I think this is literally the last location for him.
Yeah, I think so. So this will be go mode shortly for him. As soon as he gets over to the left side of the dungeon and lights those lower, quicker torches that don't require a cutscene, Jet's going to be in go mode.
Yeah, P-Train's still into a rock, so... I mean, P-Train might be able to cut him some time if he goes straight to Skull Woods, but I still think this is Jet's race to lose this point.
If P-Train goes straight to Skull Woods, we're going to have a close race with P-Train having, I think, a slight lead. If P-Train does, the Smith sequence or other overworld stuff first, then Jet is going to keep this lead going. There is the possibility, this doesn't come up too often, but there is the chance that P-Train does a mirror out of the bottom of Laser Bridge and saves that portal.
Ah, yes, that is a possibility.
For that to work, he has to take an overworld death, do a save and continue, and not mirror in that time.
Which he doesn't necessarily have to if he makes a Skull Woods play.
Yeah, if he goes straight to Skull Woods, he's going to have that on lockdown.
Alright, P-Train now done, and he is going to go. Looks like he's going to go try to save that portal. Saving the portal will save a huge amount of time if he executes it correctly.
Yeah, it comes up pretty rarely, so if you haven't seen it, what P-Train does is he mirrors right here, and if he can preserve that portal location, he can drop down from above, so he doesn't have to run through all of Turret Rock again.
And he's going straight for
He just has to get to the top of Paradox Cave.
He's going straight for Skull Woods. Oh, wow. Buckle in, folks. This is going to be a good one. He has to take an overworld death in order to save the portal, right?
Yeah, he does. Good news is the enemies in the skull area do a lot of damage.
Yeah. You move Red Mail.
Alright.
Jet is the first one in go mode. He gets Canis Tamaria at 1 hour 24 minutes in.
How does P-Train do this? If he goes right inside the dungeon...
Oh, what is he? No, he's not.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. 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 P-Train. He's checking Bumper Cave. This is a quick check. I get why he's doing it.
He's gonna go the other way first. He's gonna go
Ledge.
all the way to Graveyard Ledge. Then hope. Oh, if he goes to Graveyard Ledge, he loses his portal though.
Yep. Oh, because if he goes to Graveyard Ledge, he can keep going east from here, and he can get to Catfish. Yeah. Okay, that's clever routing. That's sneaky.
Well, Jet's showing off some spooky action glitches here in Mr. Meyer.
Yeah, confuse the game about where the fire rod flame is sitting, hit some torches, and in the process, hit a crystal switch that's way above you on the screen.
And one of the reasons why the silver arrows are usually behind Vitreous in the vanilla game. To prevent you from doing that.
Doing what?
I don't know, he just like made him disappear really quickly. Well, Jet just has to do Gomo Turtle Rock with the big key in the first chest. Should be pretty simple for him.
Yeah, Jet is pretty well decked out at this point. He's got Tempered Sword, he's got Red Mail, he's got 15 hearts. This is kind of over-geared, safety-wise, for what he needs to do to beat the game. He's got Powder if it really comes down to it. So he is in a good, safe position to just wreck these last two dungeons.
I bet Peter's gonna feel really mad at himself if he goes Skull Woods here, which looks like he is. Or, you know, do the Smith Chain instead.
Yep. So there's that big keeper Jet.
So there was a map in the Hammer Pegs.
Oh, which map was that? Did Jet actually skip Hammer Pegs?
I think so, yeah.
Did we all just miss it?
Well, Peter didn't pick up the map. The thing on Jet is that he might still feel like he's behind us. First off, he last location that was Canis Maria. He full cleared every pendant when he didn't really have to. He's not feeling great either.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Little does he know he is miles ahead at this point.
Yeah, a lot of runners, understandably, have this tendency to assume that their opponents have kind of just done everything faster, because when you get to this point in the seed, you're playing through Turtle Rock, which you know by heart. You start thinking back, okay, what were the things I got caught up on? What mind state did my opponent have to be in to just not make that mistake? Or not get stuck on that, but still get the boots in the ice rod when I did. And, you know, that can be a scary way of thinking through things as you're approaching the end.
Oh, Peter looks like he's gonna go do Spike Cave now. Yeah, try pointing out Peter may be playing along the lines of, if it's in Skull Woods, I lost already because I made that conscious decision to just not go there and hope that's not there. Little does he know that 3 important items were there, not just the one that he's looking for. Of course, boots and silver's not required. Silver's never required, unless it's swordless. And boots most of the time not required, but always nice to have. But that ice rod hard required, and sitting in the Swamp Palace.
Yep.
And now it looks like P-Train's finally gonna go check out Swamp Palace, Skullwoods.
You know, we've said that a couple times.
Or, check the pedestal first.
Yep. I can see why you'd check the ped right now. See at this point if you should just be committing to go moding your pendants.
Yeah, the ped has the ice rod, he can just, kill Cold Stare, kill Landmo, which he hasn't done that either yet. He hasn't gotten any pendant yet, so if he might just, end it right now if he sees it on the pedestal, but obviously that's not done yet, so he won't end. Of course, it's unnecessary quake. Just skipping the small key chest.
Really, really good laser skips from Jet there.
Oh yeah.
They are a trick that looks really, really impossible at first glance. What you have to do is just... Oh no! Oh no!
You go back to the swamp.
Oh no!
And he is really not wanting to do Skullwoods. The all in on the if it's in Skullwoods, I lost already plan. Which, he's right.
I respect the commitment to it. I just hate to see a runner go this way.
Especially when you're in, the quarterfinals. We know how good of a runner P-Train is. Yes, he may only be on the scene for less than 2 years, but he has proven himself to be one of the elite runners of this race in a short period of time. Meanwhile, one of the veterans of this game, Jet082, is just about to pick up his 7th.
Yo, nice Trinex fight. Got the double spin, got everything there. Oh, gosh! The chat, it's full.
That's a lot of numbers.
That's a lot of numbers.
Numbers in Phalion.
There are 22 spots in the Ganon Tower basement where that big key that we need to climb the tower might be hiding. So, if you want to throw a number in chat to try to guess where the runners might find it, you can go ahead. Synac wrote a bot that tracks people and tracks all those numbers that we see there. But yeah, feel free to get your guesses in. It is a nice little fun thing we like to do as these runners do kind of a mostly linear Ganon's Tower. There is that choice, do I go left, do I go right, how far do I go each way? But at this point, it is Jet's race to lose. It's not going to hamper him either way.
Alright, first item for Jet is Big 20, as is the second item. So we are not going to go right side at all because we need a small key first.
Yeah, you need the cane to hold down the switch in that room, and then a small key if you want to go past tile room, which you almost certainly do. Unless you're playing a very weird game, no one checks tile room first.
Number 4 for us, another Big 20. A lot of Big 20 so far in here. Small key in number 5. Number 6 has a heart container, just must need more health. And some blueberries in number 7. And big key is in number 8, the map room.
Does Jet have a small key? Yes, he's got 2. Great, we can climb the tower. This is all safe. There is that requirement. If you don't climb the tower with at least 1 small key, you can find yourself blocked out at the top. And whew, we hate to see that happen. So what I like about that spike room Jet just did is if you ask 5 runners how they do it efficiently, you'll get 5 different answers.
Yeah.
The basic idea is always the same. If you can always move in the same pattern, hit the switch at the top at the right time, the spikes get on the right cycle. If you move at the top of the screen in the right way, you bait the Igors so they don't hit you. So you can come up with your own very consistent way of getting through that with some good dashes. But gosh, people will have variations in how they do it, and I've seen runners try to teach each other their methods and stare at each other and go, "What on earth are you playing with? How do you understand this game?"
Very nice Lamo 2 on Jet's side. Just as perfect as you can get. Trust me, Phalion really does appreciate really good execution.
I just like it when things go well. I like it when you shoot the arrows at the right time and everything just explodes on the screen at once.
I can speak from experience. He watches my NMG runs and he yells at me all the time.
No comment.
Anyway, into the torch room here. Another room that a lot of runners do differently. Like, a lot of runners use the lamp, but I guess with half magic, just use the fire rod. You have plenty of magic to use here.
Yeah, the fire rod's a little awkward because it actually takes longer to use than the lamp. So if you're having to, like, lift the pot anyways, it's oddly slower in some cases. We see Jet, of course, not checking chests at the top of this dungeon because there's nothing he can really pick up that would help.
Yeah, he is fully loaded. And will not have any issues. Just gonna pick up this magic container, obviously, to make sure he's full on that.
Slash and spin for Moldorm 2.
D-Train is actually back in Meyer, gonna finish off clearing the rest of this dungeon. As Jet is about to enter the Agatu fight. Don't know if that was a triple. That was a 2. Yeah, same frame. That's 3, though.
Maybe? I can't tell.
I think so. Yeah, that was 3.
That was 3. It was a 3. Actually, very clean Aga fight with some tricky patterns. Jet just managed to knock them all down.
So he's pretty good at this.
Yeah, Jet's played this game at least twice. So yeah, here comes Ganon in 4 phases. 12 hits in phase 1, 12 hits in phase 2. And then Easy Street.
Will he get the 1 cycle with the tempered? Doesn't even go for it. Unless he gets, oh, it might get lucky here. No, he didn't get it.
No. Actually, he got in Ganon's way during the teleport, so Ganon ends up facing downwards and is a bit up from the bottom of the room. It's a little weird and kind of inconvenient, but if Ganon goes to the top right, you just sit in the corner, you do spins, and everything works out fine.
Yeah, that was obviously RNG manip to make sure he got top right for the perfect setup. Obviously.
RNG manip's not real. Either way, Jet is doing fine with this.
Halfway done phase 3. Just hit number 3. Number 4. Silvers are his true weakness. And we should have a dead Ganon really quick. Setting up for the triple here. Uno goes Trace.
Good
That is how
setup.
you do it. ladies and gentlemen, Jet082 will be our last semifinal runner, joining Actiboker, Doomtap, and Ninban. Get your GGs in chat for Jet82. Finishes with a time of 1 hour, 41 minutes, and 40 seconds, and P-Train sees that, and he has tapped out.
That makes a lot of sense to do at this point. You go, you know what? I don't need to play this out. Good work to Jet. Let's move on. And we've actually got both runners in here at this point already. So good game to you both, and congratulations to Jet.
Hey, GG's.
GG.
Oh, that did not feel good. I mean,
Yep.
It feels good, but that's not a good way to win.
Yeah, so you guys probably figured it out while this was going on, that Skull Woods was pretty stacked, and P-Train just made the conscious decision to never go.
So, if anyone watched our last race, I blame Skull Woods for the majority of my time loss. So, I was going to say, this seed, I go into Skull Woods, and I mean, yeah, I got boots and silvers, but I wasn't like really thinking about it too much, that it was required. I was sort of thinking, oh crap, it's another pendant. I just wasted more time again. Skull Woods, why? And you know what? Skull Woods, you all right.
I mean, yeah, it was a pending, and that was the reason why you lost game 2, but it turns out going there was the reason you won game 3. So, in the end, everything balanced out.
Yeah, I don't mind doing Skull Woods. At least I did it properly this time. I went to the back first because I can beat it. I have Fire Rod and a sword. So I routed it properly, got boots, which is nice to get around quickly. And yeah, that was fine. It's just where I mess up, of course, is when I had an option of checking Mire Shed. Like, I was ready. If Quake was required, I'm like, all right, cool. Desert, gonna go pull Ped, get my Quake, do something else. I don't know what. But then I'm like, no, Quake's not required. So it's like I had a choice. I could do Desert, get a few items there, or gamble on Mire. And what do? The wrong thing.
Yeah, you ended up almost like literally last locationing the
Yeah.
Samaria, because I'm pretty sure you checked everything before going back to Mire.
Man, I chose this mode because I mentioned it's the closest to Key Sanity, and Mire's a great location to go in Key Sanity because you can get there's so many items that you can get. I think it's 7 items. Wait, is it 6 or 7? I don't know. I'm drawing a blank right now, but there's a lot of items. And so it's like, that's what you do. Now in here, it's not as lucrative, but you can still get 3 or 4 items, which isn't bad for a dungeon. And it's not that long to check. I really should have went in and tried it, but instead I was, I don't know, playing it safe.
All right, so Jet joining into the semifinals. How do you feel about finally? I think you've been in every tournament but the first one, and you've always made a deep run, but I don't think you've ever been this deep in a tournament before.
Yeah, I am super stoked. This is top 4. I mean, it was the Key Sandy tournament, but that wasn't an official, that wasn't one of the big official ones. So I am super happy for this placement. I like trying to get at least top 8, so yeah. I'm looking forward to more racing.
And you face off against another veteran of the Rando in Ninban. How are your thoughts on facing the old French Canadian in the top 4 round?
Pretty good, I guess.
Yeah, it's gonna be definitely a good matchup.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be fun no matter what. At this point, everyone is so good. We made it this far, and I mean, there's a lot of runners even that got kicked out earlier. It's just, rando is rando, but yeah, it's gonna be good races no matter what, I think.
I definitely feel like in the case of Ninman, he's definitely improved the most over the past year among the final 4 runners. Whereas obviously you and Ak are pretty much old school veterans of the game, and Doomtap obviously is a NMG first runner, but very, very, very good at that. So it's gonna be fun Final Four. I don't know if I can technically say those words, but the last four runner. P-Train, congrats on making top 8, and what is this? I don't think you're only your second tournament or second major.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you've only joined the community about a year and a half ago, but you got really good, really quick at this, and top 8 is nothing to sneeze at in a big tournament, especially when a person like a Jet is the one that takes you. Jet is long time top runner of this game.
Yeah. The way I had it, I mean, it kind of sucks that it came down to a seed like this, because of course in my mind it's an ice rod hunt, but in Jet's mind it's like, oh no, ice rod was free, But I had this like nice clean route planned out where I started in the Dark World, so I did Hype Cave to the Pod Eastern area. Then I was going to start at Stumpy, Dig Game, Cave 45, Mirror, do Thieves Town, Skull Woods, work my way over to Catfish if I didn't find anything. And then I found Flippers in Thieves Town. And I was like, oh, well, Flippers, that gives me Swamp Palace. And between Skull and Swamp, we need so much more to get into Swamp Palace. Surely progression has to be there. And also I was kind of itching for the mitts, and I'm like, if I find mitts, I don't have to bother with any of these pendant dungeons. So I did the Zora checks. That led to nothing. So at that point, I was like, well, let's just do Skull Woods. I'm going to trust Skull Woods over. I'm going to trust Swamp Palace over Skull Woods. And then I found mitts, did a couple extra checks, felt great. Found out that Bombos was needed for both of the dungeons. Felt awesome about that. Didn't feel great about the Ice Palace dive, but then opted to do Mire. Found Vanilla Cane, and I was like, "Oh snap!" So now it's just the Ice Ride. Let's just go mode the rest of Mire and go to Turok. When I finished Turok and did not find the Ice Ride, at that point I was like, "Yep, this is it." I have probably lost the race at this point. I felt like the correct play was actually to go back to Mire, clear Mire, save your portal. But my thought was that if the Ice Rod was in Mire, I did not think that Jet would have go-moded Mire after finding the cane. So that was thought one. I'm like, okay, well, if it's in Mire, I've probably already lost. Secondly, I knew that Jet did an early Skull Woods yesterday, so he probably did an early Skull Woods again today. So if it's in Skull Woods, I have also probably lost. So I gambled on a couple of the north. At that point, I'm thinking, like, what are the most inconvenient places that it could be that would bring me back into the race? I was like, maybe he skipped Graveyard Ledge, maybe he skipped Catfish, maybe Left Side Swamp or Argus, because I thought, maybe he mirrored out of Swamp right after finding mitts, who knows? And I literally, I just kept telling myself, I'm like, if it's in Skull Woods, I've lost anyways. It kind of sucks that the boots were there as well. I wasn't really expecting that one, but yeah, it's not a super fun seed to go out on, but overall, the tournament has been a really, really enjoyable experience.
Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun watching this all play out.
But yeah,
so
by all means, though, GG Jet, congratulations. I'm really glad that you're the guy that beat me. Nothing. I mean, absolutely no offense to my previous opponents for saying that. Like, oh, I'm glad it was you, because I was like, no. It was an honor to play you. Really enjoyed the experience, and I wish you the best in the Final Four. You better win it all now.
Thank you, guys. In our viewers, make sure you give P-Train a follow. He's a great guy. He does a lot for the community. So you guys should definitely give him a follow, watch what he does. So good stuff.
Yeah, P-Train definitely one of the good guys in the community, as is Jet, obviously, and as is also my co-comp Philion. Did a fantastic job despite being freezing cold wherever.
It is warmed up here,
okay.
At least in my house.
And again, shout outs to Link Force Zero for clicking the buttons, making sure everything was kept up to date with the trackers. We do not have dates yet set for either of the semifinal rounds yet. I know I know Ak and Doomtab were in conversation trying to get something together for their match. And obviously, Ninman didn't know he was facing it. So Ninman and Jet will be scheduling their matchups pretty soon, but keep an eye out for the semifinal round of this wonderful tournament. On behalf of everyone here, we thank you all for watching, and stay tuned to the next couple weeks as we wrap up this Link to the Past Randomizer tournament. We started with like 270, we got down to 128, then 64, now we're down to 4.
That's right. Check those links out in chat. Check out the schedule for the tournament. Join the Discord if you want to. Keep an eye on when we're going to have those last matches showing up on the schedule, because they're coming up. We're going to finish in the next couple weeks here, and it is going to be great. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a good night.